All right, welcome. Today, we're jumping headfirst into a really fascinating idea that takes a swing at one of the biggest questions out there. If the universe is just packed with intelligent life, where is everyone? This source we're looking at has a pretty wild answer. Let's get right into it. So yeah, this is the big one, right? The mystery. For years, we've been pointing our telescopes at the stars, shouting, hello, into the void, and just listening. But what if I told you the reason for the silence has nothing to do with what's out there? What if we've been looking in completely the wrong direction this whole time? And here it is, the core idea, and it's a total game changer. The argument is that the universe isn't quiet because we're alone, it's quiet because we're not ready. The barrier to making contact isn't about technology or distance, it's internal. It's actually woven right into the fabric of our modern world. Okay, so let's break that down. Why aren't we ready? The source points to some pretty big systemic problems that it says are basically holding us back from reaching a higher state of consciousness and, well, from getting that cosmic call. Now, what's so interesting here is how all five of these things are tangled together. You've got our spiritual beliefs splintering us instead of uniting us. We're stuck in a loop of over 100 armed conflicts, all driven by fear. We've got an economy that chews up the planet for profit, and a psychiatric system that can look at someone having a spiritual breakthrough and just see a chemical imbalance. But the point about government? That one's especially provocative. I mean, think about it. The source suggests that from an outside perspective, our whole idea of government must seem completely bizarre. It's described as this system where we all just kind of agree that a small group of people can take our money, threatening us if we don't pay up, and then use it for things we might find totally immoral, like war. It's called slavery with a smile, this collective doublethink that stops us from being truly free. And that quote just nails the consequences of all this. It's a powerful metaphor, right? It suggests we've gotten so used to our own spiritual and moral decline that we don't even notice how much danger we're in. We're just losing touch with the most fundamental things, with our own nature. This whole idea of being disconnected gets explored through a few simple but really deep questions. Let's start from the ground up, literally. Were we actually born to live our lives in rubber and plastic boxes totally cut off from the earth? And what about our food? Were we born to cook and process everything until all the original life, the vitamins, the minerals, the enzymes, is just gone? We're disconnecting from the very fuel that's supposed to energize us. And this is the real kicker that ties it all together. Were we born so that when we have one of our most profound experiences, that feeling of connecting to the cosmos, a deep inner awakening, it gets labeled a disorder and medicated away? I mean, really, were we born to end up in the hands of a system that might just sever our connection to the universe entirely? So here's the bottom line. By cutting ourselves off from the earth, from real food, and from our own inner worlds, we've basically broken our own receiver. We've completely lost the antenna we would need to pick up any signals from a higher consciousness. And this is where the source material takes a hard left turn and completely reframes the whole conversation. If the problem is inside us, well, maybe the solution is too. This next part flips the entire concept of the alien right on its head. So get this. The source completely redefines alien contact. It's not about little green men landing on the White House lawn. It's about something deeply personal. It's about you making a connection with your own higher self, your deepest consciousness. What some spiritual paths might call your inner Shiva, or even your guardian angel. This right here is the fundamental principle behind all of it. The idea that everything we think of as the outside world is actually being built inside our own minds. Sure, we all share one physical reality, but every single one of us lives in our own unique universe of experience. It's how one person can be in heaven and another person in hell while standing in the exact same spot. So making contact becomes this incredibly private internal journey. It's not a public spectacle for the whole world to watch on TV. It's an awakening that happens inside you, which the source argues is exactly why those stories of alien abductions are always so intensely personal and private. It's not a collective event. Okay, so if the problem is baked into our society and the solution is this deeply personal internal journey, how in the world do you bridge that gap? Well, the source doesn't just leave us hanging. It proposes a concrete, real-world solution. Meet the X Divine Clinic. It's designed to be a real, physical place to directly fight back against all those problems we just talked about. It's a space to restore our natural harmony, to heal that broken connection to the earth, our food, and our own spirit. It's meant to be a safe haven from a world that might otherwise pathologize this kind of journey. The mission here is pretty clear, and it's fourfold. First, create that safe space where these big inner experiences can happen without judgment. Second, start treating spirituality like a strength, a core part of being human, not some illness to be cured. Third, use natural, holistic tools like meditation, yoga, and art to help that process along. And finally, and this is huge, create a new way forward where psychiatry and spirituality can actually work together, not as enemies. I love this distinction. The point of a place like this isn't to fix people in the way we normally think about it. It's to help them remember who they truly are underneath it all, that deeper self that's always there. The whole focus shifts from curing a sickness to helping someone rediscover themselves. But how do you actually help someone remember something that profound? Well, this last section offers up a simple but seriously powerful exercise to prove that this inner self is not only real, but it's something every single one of us can access. Let's actually try this right now. It's a little exercise inspired by the rapper KRS-One. Just take a second and ask yourself this one simple question. When you think a word, silently, inside your own head, who is it that's doing the speaking? Okay, ready? Right now, don't move your lips, don't make a sound, just think the word rock star. You heard it, right? But now ask yourself, who spoke? Your mouth and vocal cords didn't move, and who heard it? Your physical ears didn't pick up a single sound wave. This super simple experiment is presented as direct proof of something incredible. It shows that there is a part of you, an inner voice and an inner ear, that exists completely separate from your physical body. It proves there's an inner dimension. And the source argues that this immortal part of you, well, that's your true self. And connecting with that, that's where your real power is. And that brings us right back to the beginning with our final question. If this source is right, if the universe really is reflected inside of you, and if all of that consciousness is just waiting within, then what does it really take to make contact? Maybe it isn't about building a bigger telescope. Maybe it's about building a bridge to yourself.